microphone, could you just give us a brief biography of who you are?
I was born in 1928, nearly 81 years ago, in Richmond, Utah. I grew up on a dry farm with cows and pigs and chickens and wheat and alfalfa and just general farming background. I went to Utah Agricultural Experiment Station, or the Agricultural College there in Logan, Utah. Got a bachelor's and later a master's degree after serving in Korea and the United States Army as a second and then first lieutenant. I then came back and got a master's at Utah Agricultural College and went on to Iowa State for 3 semesters, and then to get enough money to support a wife and 3 children, I took an instructorship here at Rutgers for 5 years and graduated with a PhD in 1961 and was offered the turfgrass breeding position. And I served there until we turned it over to Bill Meyer.
Could you share with us how you became the first university-based turfgrass breeder in the United States in 1962?
At that time, Ralph Engel, who was serving for extension, research, and teaching here at Rutgers, had great relationships with the industry and recognized that to get things through the administration and get sound programs going, he had the industry appoint a turfgrass advisory committee to advise on teaching, research, and extension. And they came up with the decision that the greatest impact we could make here at Rutgers was to start a turfgrass breeding program. That there had been very little work done by the scientific community in developing better turf grasses, except for the program down at the Arlington Turf Gardens just prior to the Second World War. And that was terminated with the building of the Pentagon, and they wanted to get things going again and decided that Rutgers should hire a turfgrass breeder. And since there wasn't anybody that had been trained in a turfgrass breeding program available, they offered it to a person that had been involved in breeding other crops, alfalfa and corn. So when the position became available, I was available, and I just applied for the position and was hired.
Another illustration of the industry working with Rutgers to solve problems. Is that a fair statement?
It's certainly the case.
Well, in 1969, the New Jersey Turfgrass Association was formed to try to tie the industry together and to work together to improve the industry and to help Rutgers. What was it like back then with the industry? Did you get a lot of support back then?
It was scattered. The one sod grower didn't want to trust another sod grower and so forth. I think the golf course superintendents were more cooperative and had a good organization. But Henry Endyke was a extension specialist, and he loved to organize groups both in New Jersey and nationally. He worked a lot with Wiley Minor on setting up a national sod growers and other national organizations.
Well, the new slogan of Rutgers University is New Jersey Roots and Global Reach. Before we talk about the future, I wonder if you'd look back over your long and storied career and maybe share with us what gives you the most personal satisfaction. Could you highlight a few of the achievements that really give you personal internal satisfaction?
I think the greatest personal satisfaction was working with the leaders of the industry and also the great faculty members that we've had here. Bruce Clark's always been a great supporter, and so is Bill Meyer and all these other people.
One of the reasons we dedicate this 34th Annual Expo and the kickoff of our 40th anniversary to you is because we want you to know how much we appreciate what you've done for all of us. We want the younger people to understand what you've done for us. You are famous in our little world for several innovations. Could you speak a little bit about some of your accomplishments?
Some of the first things that were important in the industry was the development of an improved turf type group of perennial ryegrass varieties tracing back to Manhattan that originated from a collection of plants there near the Sheep Meadow in Central Park in New York City. Varieties developed at Rutgers have been used widely throughout essentially all of the developing countries and developed countries of the world. Our Manhattan ryegrass was immediately recognized for its winter hardiness and wear tolerance and improvement over existing forage varieties they've been using for soccer fields and other sports turf, and was for nearly 3 decades the leading variety on soccer turf in Northwest Europe and the British Isles. Other varieties have been used for Olympic events in Japan and Korea and many other places around the world. One of the best scientific innovations was the development of a way to hybridize apomictic Kentucky bluegrasses that led to a number of improved varieties, and the discovery of the role of fungal endophytes in enhancing disease resistance, summer performance, and other characters.
Specifically the bluegrass innovation, that was something that happened in the middle of the night, is that right?
Well, it's something where you've got to fertilize the bluegrass plants by applying pollen when they first open, which can be anywhere from 10 p.m. in the evening to 4 o'clock in the morning. So I spent many days out in the greenhouse sleeping on a cot part of the night and pollinating every hour on the hour. Yeah, I was willing to come in and work with the plants as the plants told me to.
You listened to the plants?
Right.
Did you have a mentor or mentors that have really helped guide you in your success?
Had many mentors here at Rutgers, but outside of Rutgers, I've always thought of Glenn Burton and his contributions as a role model. He was the leading breeder of warm season grasses in the United States throughout his career. That lasted up until his early 90s. He developed pearl millets that contributed 16% of the added food production of the Green Revolution in Southern Asia, and developed forage type grasses, mainly Bermuda grasses, that revolutionized the agriculture of the southern United States.
Well, tell me, Dr. Funk, as you were winding down your career here at Rutgers, you were influential in helping convince Dr. Bill Meyer to come on board. Could you talk a little bit about how that came about?
I attempted to recruit Bill Meyer for many years, assisted by Bruce Clark and other people here at Rutgers. We recognized he has the intellect, the ability, the training, and the skills, the contact with the seed industry to really build on the program and make it eminently successful, which he has done.
Well, we've talked a little bit about the past, Dr. Funk. Can we talk a little bit about the future? Can you look into your crystal ball and see what's going to happen going forward?
I see great things in the future. We certainly have the advances in plant breeding, varietal improvement, and cultural practices, physiology, pathology, soil sciences that will continue to make growing grass more economical, efficient, and produce greater conservation and greater contributions to improving soil. You people in the industry are implementing the science and progress, and making them available to all people.
Well, it's certainly the pleasure of the industry to recognize your brilliance, to thank you for it, and to dedicate Expo 2009 in your honor. We are sorry that circumstances don't allow you to be here with us today, but we're delighted that we're able to make this film and let the world know who you are and what you've done.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure and honor to accept this tremendous recognition, and to express my appreciation to the many people here at Rutgers and throughout the country and the world that have participated and assisted in some of these contributions.
Well, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.